So I'm sharing my screen. So in the previous class, we have started with HTML5 and we have covered a few important concepts like headings, paragraph, uh, and few other elements related things. So today we'll be focusing on some other HTML elements which will be useful in our day-to-day life in development. And so we'll try to complete the HTML course by today, and tomorrow we can start with the CSS related things. So now we'll start with one of the concept called the list. I'll just write here. So in lists we have like the ordered lists, unordered lists, and descriptive lists in HTML. So first we'll go through unordered list. So I'll just write. So unordered list is defined by using an element called UL. Uh, and inside this, the elements should be like LI. LI defines the list of elements that we'll be adding here. So I'll just type in random data. So there is a shortcut as well, like if you type LI and if you use this asterisk symbol, and if you want how many lists, like for example, if you take three and press enter, you can see the three elements are being displayed here. So in this way, you can create the shortcut for creating the list. So I'll just try coffee. Yeah. So I'll save this and so, I need to run this. I'll just click on this live server so you can see uh, the list of items are being rendered here, like coffee, tea, and milk. This is nothing but unordered lists. So if you want the list of elements to be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can use ordered list. So in that case, instead of UL, you will be having OL. So on the list elements would be same. So I'll just save this. And if you see here, like the ordered list, like coffee, tea, milk. So this way you can create the ordered list. And we also have another list called descriptive list. So just rename this. So this would be quite different compared to the ordered list and unordered list. So inside you will be having a tag called DL for descriptive, and inside this you will be having a title and the element like D. You will be having a DL tag and a DT tag. So DL tag is for descriptive list. DT tag is used for naming the uh, definition, and DD will be that naming the each element. I'll just show you like DT. It would be suppose example coffee, and you'll be having DD, a description of that coffee. You can write here like black coffee, something. So similarly, I'll just create another one, maybe milk, and write the description for that particular milk. It's a hot milk. So I'll save this. You can see coffee is being rendered and a description for that coffee is being displayed likewise. So this way you can use this descriptive links as well in HTML. So this is about the list of elements. So anyone have any doubts in this? Okay, I'll just continue. I'll just remove these items. And so in the previous class, we have gone through this item. So in the head section, we are using this metadata. This is nothing but the viewport of your page, which gives the browser instructions like how to display the particular page in different dimensions and scaling. So I'll just show you one example here. So consider maybe I'll be including an image here using the image tag, APJ, and random image. And I'll be using a p tag. I'll be using lorem into 5. So I'm using this large amount of data, and I will save this. So if you go to the browser, you can see the image is being rendered, and the uh, text in the paragraph is also being displayed here. So I'll try to inspect this element. If you go to this inspect by using this right click, you'll be having icon called toggle device toolbar here in the developer tools. So once you click this icon, you will be able to adjust your screen as per your resolution. So if you want a mobile screen or a tab screen or a desktop, laptop, so whatever screen if you want, you can adjust by using this icon. So here my device size is like 400 width and 658 height. So you can reduce these as well. Like uh, by default, the mobile small mobile size would be from 300 plus. So I'll just use like 500. Maybe I'll go with the tab. It's 568 width and 658 height. So you can see the image and the text is being adjusted as per the layout. You can see here the image and text. So if I go like maybe I'll just remove this. So you can see here I am trying to increase its width. So you can see the text is being adjusted as per the resolution. So I'll go to the code now. So once I'll try to remove this line, which indicates the viewport and width, I'll just comment that. Yeah, I'll save this. And you can see here, the text is being overlapped inside your browser. So uh, previously you can see that as per the resolution, the image and the text is being rendered efficiently in your web page, step by step, and it has some adjustments. Now you can see that all the text is wrapped inside this, and there is no proper alignment. So you can see here the text is being sent into the rightmost edge, and you can see here when once you decrease the size to 174, you can see all the text is collapsed inside your uh, editor, like inside your browser or any displaying section. So I'll just add this. If you see here, all your text is being aligned as per your resolution. So this is the main advantage of using this line. So we this is like must and should, like if you focus on the mobile first approach. As a developer, we have some rules, like we need to focus the UI mostly on the mobile first approach. Mobile first approach is like first our UI should be compatible with the mobile, and then we need to give to tablet, and then for a laptop and desktop, so and so on as per the resolution. So as a developer, you should mainly focus on the mobile responsiveness as well. So while designing itself, you need to use the better responsive approaches, and you can also use the media queries. So once we'll go through CSS, we'll go through these media queries as well, which allows us to make our UI looks adaptable to all other devices like tablet, mobile, or desktop. So this is the importance of this particular metadata, and I'll just remove this. So this is one of the use case here. And In HTML, we have like two types of elements. I'll just use like one is semantic elements and the other is non-semantic elements. You can also use the previously used shortcut like H1 into 2. You'll get two H1s and you can use uh, semantic, non-semantic instead of this I can write. So inside the semantic, you will be having uh, like form, table, article, section, header. So I'll just explain all those tags as well. In non-semantic, we will be having mainly the tags called div, and the other is like span. So div tag is like a container, which you can use like a container in which you can write your text, image. You can drop an image. You can drop an multimedia query, or you can use. It's like a container as a box in which you can place all your childs. So consider div as a parent, and inside a parent you can place as many childs as well. So I'll just remove this and I'll use div. So inside div I can write h1 child one, and I can also use p tag. So consider this div as a parent. It's like a container which allows us to write the content, or you can also dump image and other things as well. So while I try to inspect this inside this body, you will be having a div called parent, and inside this parent, you will be having child one and child two. So this is the usage of div. So mostly in the development, you will be using this div tag, uh, and without these div, like we cannot go through the code. So we'll be using quite often this div in our HTML. So div is nothing but like a container. You can also directly write the text here. Maybe this is a div, but we generally don't use for writing the text directly in the div. We'll use the div as a parent, and inside this, we'll be inserting multiple elements like heading, paragraph, images, or something else. I'll just save this. You'll be getting the text as well, but generally we don't follow this approach. So this is one usage of these div. Yeah. And we also have a button called span. Span is like an inline element. Yesterday we have gone through like block level elements and inline elements. Block level elements is like they will occupy the entire width of the given element space. But the inline elements is like they will occupy a particular space, uh, and it'll be closed. Then after the other elements will be wrapped aside to that. So the span is similar to that inline element. So I can directly use the span here. Hello, and if you save here, you can see the span is being rendered here. But if you try to use the span, so as this is an inline element, this hello and the world would be uh, aligned aside, like side by side. So I'll just save this. You can see the hello and the world is present because this is like an inline element. I'll just inspect this, and you can see this is one spam element and this is one. But if you go to this paragraph, you can see the hover. This is like an entire. It occupies the entire width of the element, and this child as well is like a heading which occupies the entire width of your uh, browser. So generally, you'll be using these spam elements inside your heading, paragraph, or div, where you require some external description or additional data to render to that. So this is the usage of span. So you will be using span as well effectively in our development. So apart from this, these div and span are like non-semantic elements. There are like semantic elements as well. So these semantic elements are mainly used to describe the browser. Uh, so for example, if you run this HTML in a browser, all the HTML data would be converted from HTML raw data to a particular thing called DOM. DOM is nothing but a document object model. The code that you see here, like heading, body, div. So it is like a tree data structure. So your browser converts all your HTML code into a uh, DOM. DOM is nothing but a tree data structure, which allows the browser to render all your elements in the uh, particular UI. So all your HTML code will be converted into this tree data structure, nothing but document object model, DOM, and it will be rendered step by step by your browser. So semantic elements are mainly used for the browser to understand that this particular element is used for this particular purpose. So, for example, consider you are using these 100 divs in your application. So, while rendering, uh, the browser will understand this the particular element is nothing but a div, and it will render all the elements line by line. But if you use semantic elements like header, footer, section, so it will understand easily, and it will use an efficient algorithm in the internal part of its browser's infrastructure, and it will try to render these semantic elements as efficiently and as fast as possible. So I'll just show you this semantic. Like we have many things like header. Header is used for title or title bar, and we also have like uh, footer. Footer is used for footer of our particular web page, and we have like section. If you have any of the link, you'll be using nav. This is for sections. This is for navigation purpose. So in some of your applications, you'll be having a navigation in the top of your page. So it is being generated by using this nav. And uh, before this, all these features you can achieve using this particular div. But by writing this header, nav, footer, the browser will understand that these particular elements is meant for something for a specific purpose. So the conversion from the HTML code into document object model, it would be fast enough, and the rendering the data in your Chrome or some other browser would be also efficient. It would be quite speed compared to writing. So I'll just show you all the things by using the div as well. So I'll just write the section. Section used for content of the page, maybe page content, and you'll be having article as well. These also consider this like a for a content in page, and I'll just save this. So you can see here, all the elements are being rendered here, but these are like for responsiveness, for semantic purpose. I'll just try to inspect. You can see the header, nav, section, footer, article, and so on. So similarly, by using the div as well, you can achieve these things. But using there would be a difference using the div and these elements. Uh, it mainly depends on conversion of your HTML code into that document. So there would be some performance efficiency, and the speed as well differs here. I'll just try div. So all these elements are similar to a container and similar to this div. So I'll just save this, and you can see the same is being rendered here. So since we have like 6 elements here, 5 to 6 elements, there won't be much difference. If you have like the thousands of elements, the browser rendering would be quite changing from compared to semantic elements to non-semantic elements. This is the most usage of the semantic elements. And I'll just show you like all the block level and how you can design the layouts using the CSS in our next classes. Like once we go through the CSS, we can come across the layout of our page, how we can design our title bar, footer, content, side section, a sidebar, and so on. So this is one thing. And coming to we have entities in HTML. So these entities are like a reserved keywords, which is used for symbols and other purposes like emojis and so on. So I'll just show you an example to remove this. Display. Uh, there are like so many entities, symbols, and emojis. So we can go through the. I'll just go through the browser. HTML symbols. So if you type HTML symbols, you will get a list of symbols and codes. You can go here. You will be having multiple. Uh, so I'll just try to use this one, or I'll just try to use this. So you'll be having lots, like so many thousands elements. You can go through these HTML symbols or MDN docs for getting better understanding regarding this. You will be having the code for each and every symbol. I'll just take the symbol, copyright symbol. I'll just go to my code and I'll just paste it. So once I save this, you can see the copyright symbol is being displayed. So this way you can display your symbols, and you will be also having a code for this. So here we have like UTF-8. So this determines all this code. So UTF is like a universal medium, like similar to ASCII, which contains all your universal code. So the computer don't understand your headings, or if you write your head, the computer don't understand. It will be converted into a binary code, and so this process of conversion, all the elements, the head will be having a specific UTF code. So it will be converted to that particular binary characters by the compiler or your assembly programmer. So, so this is mainly used for that uh, purpose, conversion of your code to binary, and you will be having many symbols as well. So all these symbols will have a particular characteristic code in the universal standard. So this UTF-8 will give a sufficient information regarding this. So if we use this symbol, then this UTF-8 will track this and will let me know that this used for some particular purpose and the other things is used for some other purpose. So you can also, I'll just copy this. You can also use this. We have a number related code and the entity code. So I'll just use this code. Once I save this, you can see the same is being rendered. So you can use as per your use. You can use this number as well as your entity as well. So this is one of the example for using these uh, symbols. And we also have so many codes for these like digits, commas, hyphen, asterisk, a dollar sign, space. So for each and everything, we'll be having a specific code. So you can go through the HTML symbols and uh, character related documentation. You will get much idea regarding those things. And you also have like emojis. Uh, I'll just show you. So emojis as well have the code, and then just go to. So so we have something here. So I'll just try to copy this. If I place here, I'll just save this. So you can see a particular emoji is being displayed. So in this way you can use. So in this as well we have multiple emojis, and each one has a particular key and care set name. So you can use these things. So this is a numeric representation of the particular emoji, and this is like a uh, character representation. So you can use as per your convenience. So this is regarding these emojis, and you have an important concept called forms in HTML. So the forms is denoted by using this tag called form. I'll just remove it. So inside this form, you can write uh, items like form elements like input, text box, uh, buttons, or some other thing as per your requirement. You can write uh, all the form elements, whatever you want. So I'll just take maybe. So let's go with an element. So we have a tag called label. Label is used for naming a particular element. So I'll just give like first name, give this first name, and I'll use this input box for tracking that. Type text, and in input we have a attribute called ID. Uh, so the usage of label, I'll just let you know. Once you save this, if you go to your browser, uh, you need to type something here. So in some of the cases, there would be a chance like once you click on this title as well, you need to redirect to this particular box. So if a user wants to click on this first name, then he wants a cursor to be displayed here. But currently, I am trying to click on this particular name of the box, but it is not being rendered. So once I click here itself, it is being rendered. So for this purpose, we have a concept called label, and in label we have a attribute called for, and in input we have a attribute called ID. So if we match these both names, ID and for, then if you save, if you go here, if I click here, you can see the cursor is being rendered here. So this way, this is mainly used for mobile devices. In mobile devices, uh, we have a less space, and if we click on the title of that particular box or any of the options, then you need to get the cursor or the action to be performed from that place. So for that case, you need to match your label and the attribute the for and the attribute that is called ID in the input. So this will be very much useful in that case. So this is the main uh, attribute for label and input type. So I'll just add the other two as well. Maybe in last name. I'll just save this. So these elements, these input elements and label elements are inline elements. Inline elements is like they won't occupy the entire width of your browser or the screen. They'll just wrap around side by side. So you can see the first name is wrapped. It'll occupy only this much of space, and the last name would take some amount of space. So by using CSS, we can display these elements as a block level, like placing this first name in the first line, last name in the second line, and so on. So you can play with these elements using the CSS concepts. So we'll go through those things in the later sections. So this is one of the thing, usage of label, and you can also use any other types like input. In input, you'll be having. I'll just go through these. So inside these form elements, you will be having maybe select. Select is used for drop down purpose, and inside the select, you'll be having option like value, apple. You can give any unique ID for these, like fruits. I'll just give cars. I'll just give BMW. You can this. And we can also give name as cars. So this ID and name is used for unique purpose. So suppose if you have like multiple drop downs, these attributes make this particular drop down to be separated from the other drop downs, and uh, for accessing these elements from the JavaScript. So in the upcoming classes, you will be going through this JavaScript course. So you will be accessing all these elements through JavaScript. So at that time, usage of these attribute will make you much more uh, sense, like how to use this and how to maintain a unique between multiple drop downs likewise. So I'll just use option. um, So once I save this, if you go, a drop down is being created, and you can click on this drop down, and you'll be having all the options like whatever you have been given here. So currently we have hard coded all these options here like BMW, Audi, Benz. So in real time, you will be having a code coming from the backend, or coming from your servers. So you will dynamically render all those data by using JavaScript, and you will dump all the JavaScript code into this HTML by using these tags. And we'll go through those things as well. Like we'll be having an array of data, and we'll try to render all the data into our HTML by using maybe in our class, like when we'll go through the JavaScript or Angular React courses. So as of now, we have hard coded this, but in real time, we'll be getting all these options data from servers, and we'll try to loop all these from the data, and we'll try to display the drop down. And this is one thing. And by default, the first item in the drop down will be selected. So we here we have written BMW, Audi, and Benz. So by default, this BMW will be present here. And if you click on Audi, it will be selected. And if you click on this Benz, and this should be selected. So suppose if you want this particular Audi to be displayed at first, so I'll just refresh this. You'll be having BMW, and you want the Audi to be selected by default. Then you need to use the selected attribute here. And once you save this, you can see the Audi is being selected for by default. So this is usage of the selected. And you can also have like multiple selections. Uh, like if you want like checkbox, you'll just put here multiple. And if you save here, just remove this selected. So if you want to select multiple, you can use this multiple attribute, which allows us like a checkbox type. So you can select all the values from the drop down. So this is use of this multiple. And we also have all these elements are you can use these elements outside of this form as well. You can I'll just show you. You can use this without this form as well, but this form is nothing but a semantic element. So the browser will understand that all these elements comes under this particular form element, so they will be rendered efficiently. So you'll get the same output. You can also use this div as well instead of form, but using form is like uh, suggestible. And inside this form, you'll be having some attributes like submit, action. So all these things should be useful when you submit any form data, or any of the data. Like you have a button and you have a text box. Once you click on that button, if you need to submit your data from your front end to back end, then all this form will be containing some attributes like action and other like submit. If you type like submit, instead of clicking the button, if you click on the enter button in your keyboard, then the form data will be submitted. So all these types would be very much useful if you use these form element tags. So this is one thing. And we also have like text area. If you have like, if you want some big paragraph to be inserted, so I'll just save this, and you can see here the text area is being created. And you can, I have given like default columns is like 30, rows is like 10. It'll take the width as a 10 and columns as 30 height. And you can drag as well, drag and pull as well as per your requirement. So this is the usage of this text box, I mean text area. And the other important thing is like button. You can directly use the button tag, and you can write something like click me. So a button will be created. So another feature is like this form tags is mainly used for submission of your data from the front end to back end. So if I click on this click me button, you can see the page is being refreshed. So all these actions would be present in this form. So for example, if I hit div here, so if I click on this, so you don't see any page refresh, or you don't see any of the changes. So but for semantic elements like form, the browser know that this is for a particular form, for taking the data from the user, and so it will automatically render a prevent default concept on this. So if you click here, so your page will be refreshed, and it will have like other multiple functionalities as well compared to normal div and other section elements. So this is usage of this form, and you can prevent this refresh functionality as well using JavaScript. So we'll go through that as well while our JavaScript course. So yeah, this is the form. And we also have like field set legend. So I'll just go through the example here. Just take a dummy data like author. I can take something. So make sure your for attribute in the label and the ID attribute in your input has the same name, so that once you click on the title as well, you will get the access to that particular element. So I'll just save this, and you can see a field set is being created with this type like author, and inside this author you will be having a label and input. So this is the use case of your legend and field set. So you can add multiple elements as well inside this, and you have so many other types in this as well. So HTML is a vast concept. You will be having like thousands of attributes and hundreds of elements. So what we're covering in this class is like the mostly used elements. So if you want much more understanding, or you want to go through all the tags and elements that are present in HTML, you can go through the websites like W3 Schools or MDN Docs. It is the official website for HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, Mozilla Docs. You can go through those sites as well. So this is the usage of the skill set, and I'll go through this, and we'll go through the all the types in input now. Inside input, we have so many types. Like if you give by default, the type is nothing but text. If you don't give, I'll just save this. And if you don't give, by default, it would be like text box. So, these input concepts will be using efficiently in our development. So we'll be using quite a large amount of times. So by default, this would be like text. So if you can see the same thing is being rendered here. So you have like type in which you can keep like button. If you make this type as a button, if you save this, you can see a button is being created. So this is one of the type, and there are so many types like checkbox. So you can see here a checkbox is created. This voice. Just increase my font size. Yeah, you can see a checkbox is created. So this is one use case, and we also have other thing like color uses for color picker. So you can see here, once you click on this, you will be getting a color picker here. So you can select whatever color you want, and you can use those things as well. So this is the usage of input type color. Color is nothing but a color picker, and you have maybe date. I'll just go to date. So you can see a calendar is being created by using that. So inside this, once you click on that, you will be getting the calendar of this uh, particular month, and you will be getting by default the date of today. So by default, the date of today is like 4th, and you will be getting all these elements. So you can just clear this as well. So I just select. So this is nothing but the type date, and you have like date time local. Save this. You'll be getting all the you'll be getting the date, and you can select the time as well. So for this purpose, you'll be using this. Uh, yeah. So for this purpose, you'll be using this date time local, and you'll be having like email. Email is like a text box, but it won't accept until you enter some at the rate in that email box. So if you don't use at the rate symbol in this email box, it will throw you an error like the email is invalid. And if you want some other validations, you can use those validations using your JavaScript. You can make as many validations as you want. So that is the usage of email. And password. Password is like if you want to enter your sensitive data, it will be visible. It won't be visible to the user that who is typing. Like I can you like see you can see I am typing something, but you can see all these elements are being disabled. So this way, this is the usage of this password, and you have a file as well. This file is important. Like if you want to choose any file, if I click here, you will be getting an icon called choose file, and once you click on this choose file, you can choose whatever file you want, maybe pictures. I'll just take this and I'll open this. So this image file is being selected. So this is the usage of the type called file in input. And if you want other things like month, number, passport, and these are quite common. There are like so many types in input, so you can explore them. I am just showing you like what are the important types. So we have like input type as radio. Uh, so the radio button is being created. So the difference between checkbox and radio is like I'll just enter 2, 3 elements, maybe. So if you have like multiple things, you can select this, or you can select this. So uh, if you have like a drop down of elements, you can use this radio button. And if you have like if you have some data from the backend that you want to display in a form of radio buttons, you can use this type as radio. And we also have like a range. Range would give you like a bar here. So you can drag from here to here. By default, it will be like 50%. So if you want like 20%, you can give an attribute like 20, or you can take the 100 as well. So this is the type called range. And you have like reset as well. It is like a similar to a button. If you want any of the data to be erased or cleared, you can use this type as reset, and you can write some functionality there to delete all the data or to clear your cache memory or the storage memory. So this is usage of that. And you will be having the search as well. Search bar is similar to text, like type text, but the search bar is used like in some of the headers or somewhere in the section where if you want to type something or if you want to search something from a, suppose you have a list of or maybe 1,000 or 1 million data, you need to search from that. So using this search box, it will allow the browser to, it will let the browser know that this is for particular searching purpose, and it will render this element effectively. So this is nothing but search. And we also have like submit. Submit is used for submission of your form. It is like a similar to button. So if you click on the submit, your page will be refreshed. You can see once I click on the submit, you can see the particular page is being refreshed. So all your form data will be submitted. So for this purpose, I don't always require to click on this. You can also click the enter button. If I click on this enter button, the particular page is also being rendered. So for usage of the enter button in the keyboard, we'll be using the type. And we also have like type for telephone numbers. You can give like +1 if you want this. So for this purpose, you'll be using this type L. And if you want only the numbers to be in the page, you can use like number. So only the number characters will be accepted. So if you type the alphabets, it won't be the browser won't take your alphabet. It will only take the numbers. So this is a usage of type number, and you can use this drop down as well for increasing or decreasing your numbers. So this is one thing. And you can also have like type URL, where you can give a URL of any particular source. You will be having like type week. You will be getting a week, particular week and month. So all these things are like it's similar to calendars and other things. So this is the main usage of these input types. So in input types, we will be having still there are so many other types as well in this input itself. So you can explore them. But what we have covered is like the quite commonly used important types. So this is one thing. And along with this, we also have like HTML canvas, HTML, SVG. So we have so many other concepts as well. So in real world development, we don't commonly use these, but having a knowledge on this is also efficient. Like you can go through these concepts like SVG, Canvas. Canvas is used for creating a block of HTML code. So if you want to design any game using HTML and JavaScript, or if you want to create a specific block for a particular purpose and you'll dump there, you can use this canvas. And you'll be also having iframe. Iframe is used for so for example, in some of your websites, if you want to access the uh, consider like you have a YouTube video, you need to play that YouTube video in your web application. Then in that place, you can use this iframe. And once I click on this iframe, you will be getting the source of that particular. And in the source, you can give that particular YouTube or any of the video source here, and you can play this. And you can also make this iframe as a subcategory in your application where you want to make any editors or any uh, blocks. So these the usage of the site frame, and these elements are not commonly used, but having a knowledge on this is like uh, good. So we also have like video. Video is for uh, embedding a video into your application. It will be having a source. So inside the source, you can give any source here. So video don't have a source, and inside this you can give a source, and you can control the height and width here. So similarly, you can use audio as well. You have a source, you can give this. So if you want some area where you want to display any song or any audio file in your particular application, then you can use this audio attribute. And along with that, we also have many plugins, uh, geolocation, drag drop. So all these types comes under these attributes. So having an understanding on this or a knowledge on this is good. So, but we don't commonly use this in real-time applications. But based on the requirements, if your application need a embedded video, audio files, or any other something as per our requirement, you will be using all these elements. So, by this, we'll stop this HTML course. We have almost covered most of the important elements in the HTML. So, I hope you have understood most of the HTML concepts. Tomorrow we'll be starting with the CSS concepts, and we'll be going through the CSS, and then we'll be going through the Flexbox concept in CSS, which is quite widely used nowadays to design your application. And along with that, we also go through uh, media queries in CSS, which allows us to design our application based on the uh, device, with either it is like mobile device, laptop or a tablet, so on so on. So once we are done with the CSS, we'll continue with the JavaScript, and we'll go and so on like this. So uh, if you have any doubts, you can stop me at the time, or you can ask me when by unmuting yourself. I hope you have enjoyed this session. Uh, Thank you. We can meet tomorrow.
మాట్లాడదాం కొన్ని బిట్స్